Good morning, Rando fans. Looks like we are just starting off with a extremely tight match here. g3rd0 versus Eri, 4-1 in week 6 of the Spoiler Log tournament. I am Claire Mouse. I'm joined here by Mercer. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Been looking forward to this one. You can see we actually have g3rd0 looks like setting up for a Houlihan glitch early as Eriror heads over towards Kakariko from the south route.
On Zora, or he wants something out of the bottle vendor. Early money is always nice. Can also buy bombs for 50 rupees as well.
Yeah, though usually wouldn't see a Houlihan just for bombs, so probably some other early expense, either Zora or just bottle vendor, and there's just nothing else in terms of rupees along the way.
Eri taking his first safety out of the well, along with 20 rupees, a requisite glove, and a fire rod. No magic currently to use that fire rod, but I'm sure we'll pick up some relatively soon.
That's a couple of really nice early pieces.
Looks like g3rd0 is following suit here in Kakariko.
We also get a fighter sword here out of Blind's hideout.
And our Moon Pearl, so we have 2 pieces of our Dark World access already. Just looking for another glove or another hammer, or I guess the only hammer. So Eri is taking his newfound sword. Looks like potentially to Mini Moldrum Cave. He has exactly 1 bomb left, so this is very efficient use of resources here.
Yeah, don't miss there.
Eri has found our last piece of Dark World access with the hammer here in Mini Moldrum Cave, picking up also another couple bombs. Is walking out, so perhaps he is going to do some big flippering or make his way to Ice Rod Cave. g3rd0 following suit with 10 bombs. If he actually misses this bomb throw, he will have 9 more attempts. And looks like he will actually end up doing sword strats here in Mini Moldrum Cave. He did have bombs, so he did have the option of throwing some bombs to tend to make this fight a little bit faster. These Mini Moldrums here are not being friendly, though.
And there's our flute in Ice Rod Cave. Kind of obnoxious place for it, just because you would like to be able to flute over to that area.
Eri not immediately activating his flute, so perhaps that he is intending to go back to Kakariko at a later point, trying to save some trips to the village.
Yeah, going over to Pipe Cave area possibly for the moment instead.
g3rd0 doing a little dance there near the cucumbers. He only has 1 heart left, so to make his way to Ice Rock Cave, he needs to be just a little careful.
Nice tree pull for some bombs there. Or statue pull as we get the hook shot out of Pipe Cave. And the Cane of Samaria, that's actually hype. Also a boomerang, but it's the worst one.
Not sure if Eri will actually use the boomerang, but it is certainly very convenient for menuing. g3rd0 making his way to the back of the stage using his newfound gloves. Looks like there is something in the Palace of Darkness area. So Eri does not have a bow, but he does have the hammer, so he can make a little bit of headway here, assuming pod is not bow locked. Or, of course, if the bow is just in the first chest of pod, we can keep going.
Oh no, but takes an overworld death.
One of the consequences of spoiler log race is that all these runners are on very, very low health. And once they enter Dark World does not care how much health you have, it does the same amount of damage to you, whether you like it or not.
Gonna head over towards back of escape now. We'll see if that causes Eriror to reroute any as g3rd0 activates the flute.
It's really a bit of divergence here. I'm wondering if g3rd0 is interested in getting some more safety before making his way into Dark Worlds.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't blame him if that is. We see a bottle of red goo for free for Eriror.
Oh, and perhaps looks like something is on Sick Kid? Those look important. Yes.
Yeah, so we know that Hookshot's in Hype Cave, so that's actually everything g3rd0 would need for Swamp.
Eri activating his flute. My guess is that he'll visit Sick Kid here in the same trip, and then maybe he'll also make his way to Swamp? I guess I'm curious now to see what was in the Palace of Darkness area.
Yeah, we might see it before too long. Oh, and g3rd0 gets
Oh no,
there.
g3rd0!
Man,
Dark World is not friendly.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to see what's in pod now. Eriror's going to give it another try.
Yeah, I mean, even though both these runners end up taking an overworld death, because they have the flute, and where g3rd0 died it was relatively close to a Dark World portal, the time loss for both these guys is pretty minor in the grand scheme of things. That being said, though, these two runners are extremely talented, so certainly seconds can make the difference between a win and a loss.
Yeah, anytime you get a really close race, there's always a bunch of little moments you look back at and are like, if only I hadn't made whatever mistake. But hopefully we get one where that's the case today.
Alright, pod is not bow locked. Eri can keep going. Looks like g3rd0 is also following suit alongside Eri, probably making his way to pod as well.
Yeah, that kind of implies that either something that's locking the bow or the bow is over here. You wouldn't expect both runners to double dip unless that's the case.
Given that these runners are on 4 hearts, which is significantly less than any probably normal run that players would make by the time they're here in the Palace of Darkness. That is a inconveniently placed Titan's Mitts.
Yeah, that adds credence to the bow being locked behind it. Although Eriror's not quitting out, so there must be something else here.
And we did see Titan's Mitts in the front, which means a lot of the other front-loaded chests are going to be small keys. Harry putting that hook shot to good use, though.
The stun prize fairy is actually nice.
Yeah, who needs red potions? Yeah, who needs red potions when you have a fairy?
Thanks to one of the changes from the most recent minor version update, we will be able to see. Huh.
Yeah, we see Eri pulling out the lamp. Yes, as you also mentioned, one of the recent changes to the randomizer is that the fire rod actually can logically lock the lamp in certain dark rooms that have torches. So you see that Eri actually tried to light the torch or use the fire rod earlier, thinking it's just missing a torch, probably by a hair. So we couldn't actually see the torch. But in this case, right, so that room, those chests in particular are actually can be logically locked in order for you to use the fire rod to light the torch in order to get the lamp. Oh, it's kind of neat to see that.
That's nice half magic. Looks like that's the main thing Eri came over here for, although it also gets 300 rupees. Zora does have something getting close to that money.
Yeah, we see on Gerdo's side, he did end up lighting the torch. We'll get his logically locked lamp. Honestly, it would have been nice to get that half magic before entering pod and being able to kind of use the fire rod more often. But of course, given that the Titan's Mitts were actually in pod, would have not been possible to get.
Oh, and we've got a pendant ice palace dip here.
And entering all these Dark World dungeons on very low health. Eri does have the fire rod, he has half magic, he does have the Key of Samaria, so if we end up seeing Icebreaker, which is certainly likely, should be a little bit of an easier time.
Yeah, though worth mentioning, if we were seeing Cold Stare, even with half magic and fire rod, Fighter Sword is kind of...
Yeah, the Fighter Sword even... So what a lot of runners like to do is try and sword spin and keep Cold Stare in the corner. Yeah, Fighter Sword, sword spin, the range is significantly limited as compared to any other sword upgrade.
Yeah, so hopefully for those like not doing Cold Stare right now. See the mirror, and we see them leave.
It's a very short version of Icebreaker, actually, because it looks like they didn't have to go any further in the dungeon, so you don't even need to flip the switch above. Normally when you do Icebreaker, you can just clip right through that barrier and then get your prize and then mirror right out. Very convenient.
Yeah, I think that may be the happiest Icebreaker will make anybody. just because it means you're in here for like 45 seconds instead of the usual several minutes. Getting that chest without icebreaker, like if the cane was there instead of the mirror, is kind of awful.
End up grabbing the mirror. Oh, looks like Eri perhaps made a slight misstep. Maybe he wanted the item atop of Spectacle Rock instead of inside Spectacle Rock. Speaking of Eri, we see him in chat, so feel free to say hello and wish him luck for the rest of the run.
As he barely dodges getting KO'd by a boulder there. That's an easy mistake to make in the log, though. Inside of Spectacle Rock is Spectacle Rock Cave. The sword that we see on top there is actually just labeled Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, as compared to the 20 rupees inside Spectacle Rock, the Master Sword is a significantly better prize.
You see him taking the portal back. Is this Spike Cave? Yeah, it looks to be.
I think, yeah, both runners ended up pulling out the King of Berna from Sanctuary with half magic. This should be no problems.
Yeah, you kind of hate doing it without the boots, but you'll still get through easily. It's just a little slower.
Speaking of the boots, that is a very nice prize. Very also inconveniently placed boots, as you said. You definitely want boots here for Spike Cave, but you can't really do too much when Spike Cave is locking boots. Certainly also kudos to both runners to remember that in order to do Spike Cave, you both need the hook shot, or no, not the hook shot, the hammer, and a glove in order to pick up that last rock at the end. It's a common mistake sometimes for people to forget that they need a glove before they can complete Spike Cave, and then they get to the very end, and then they realize they can't keep going.
We see Ether picked up out of Hookshot Cave there. That's our entry into Mire. Unless we need to go into Turtle Rock for an item, we don't need any other medallions today.
Right, meanwhile, Eri is taking the alternate Super Bunny route up till Dark Death Mountain. So perhaps he'll also end up picking up his Ether out of a Hookshot Cave.
So g3rd0 take a little peek at the item on top of Spectacle Rock. May have been double checking whether it was on top or inside.
See a sword? Yes, I in fact would like the sword, thank you. It looks like Eri is at least done with Dark Death Mountain for the moment. Fluting away, let's see where he goes. This could be a Swamp Palace dive.
Yeah, we're probably done with the mountain until going up for Hera and GT, barring some sort of Ether Tablet shenanigans.
Eri does have the hook shots, and the flippers, and the mirror, so he can full clear Swamp Palace. This should be our first crystal. Have a little bit of divergence here. It looks like g3rd0 is interested in the Skull Woods Thieves Town area.
Yes, if g3rd0 goes straight to Skull Woods, that might be our first crystal. but not heading that way.
And perhaps something in the village is going to hold his interest further. Looks like Smith Chain? Big game? Smith Chain. I certainly wouldn't blame him if he doesn't want to just go woods on 4 hearts and green mail. I think Eri ended up collecting another heart container kind of along the way, so he has an extra 1 more health of safety than g3rd0. Swamp Palace itself, it doesn't have too many dangers. It's mainly just to make sure that you don't die accidentally on Argus.
And there's our bow on the Smith, so that one is locked by the mitts. So probably a required Palace of Darkness double dip.
I'm glad these runners have the spoiler log. Alright, looks like nothing in left side swamp, Eri will give us a demonstration of Diver Down with the cane. Looks very well executed. Okay, we get our 3rd Temper Sword. That will actually be a really nice upgrade for Argus. Looks like Eri can attempt a quick kill here.
And there's the 4th heart piece for g3rd0, catches up on health with Eriror. Nice Argus phase 1.
Yes, that was an extremely well executed Argus. Almost blamed you if you missed it. That was a very nice boss fight by Eri. We have our first crystal received on Eri's side at 22:36-7-ish. g3rd0 is following suit, yes. Go ahead, Mercer.
I was just going to say, it's a little late for a spoiler log one, but they're most of the way through all the items they'll need.
Yeah, it looks like these runners just kind of swapping places. Eri is going to most likely get his bow in this area, and g3rd0 is going to finish up Swamp.
Yeah, and once Eriror gets the bow, they're both in, you know, whatever go mode is for spoiler. So just the one very brief Ice Palace dip required today.
Yeah, it certainly looks like health is somewhat at a premium here for this seed, so they probably wanted probably like as much firepower and health that they could get before kind of just tearing through the rest of the dungeons.
Yeah, I do believe they both have a red potion at least, so that's something available.
Yeah. I mean, they do have some amount of, as you mentioned, they have the red potion, they both have Burna, they have half magic. You can see that there's certainly in battle safeties as well. Still not terribly comfortable on green mail and 5 hearts. Would be really nice if they can find, like, say, like an armor upgrade or something. Also, very clean fight on g3rd0's side for Argus.
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. I was just gonna say that meanwhile, Eri is in Skull Woods here. On 5 hearts and in green mail, he will I mean, like, you will have to be a little bit careful of Mothula, but because, you know, Mothula's patterns tend to be a bit more erratic.
Yeah, at this point, the runners have pretty well converged. Looks like they're going to go out of order on these, but they have the same stuff to do. They are a little bit ahead, I think.
Harry giving us a nice swag fire rod dash there. Always kind of cute to see. Manages to hit the give those into the spike. That does spike damage, so it's only going to be 2 hits as opposed to the Temper Sword, which is going to be more than 2 hits. Eri already knowing, pulling out the mirror here. Always makes me a little nervous when I watch runners pull out the mirror before they end up finishing the dungeon, because, you know, what happens if you accidentally mirror, but of course, you know. What Eri has no worries for us, taking down Moth incredibly quickly. I believe that was no damage too.
Yeah, that was a really gorgeous Mothula fight. Gordo gets the quick return trip to Pod, just has to, you know, head straight for Helmasaur, has the small key and big key already.
Also, just very convenient to have the Canis Maria there. I mean, sometimes when you're ready to kill Helmasaur, you don't have the cane. The slight convenience that you don't have to end up messing around with that statue. It's the little things. It looks like Eri is going to follow suit, probably doing Pod now, and I can only imagine these guys, after finishing Helmasaur, are just going to mirror and do Eastern. Somewhat of a shame that when they came into Pod the first time, they didn't have the mirror. Mirror certainly makes things Pod routing a little bit nicer, but given that the mirror was in Ice Palace and the mitts were here in Pod, there probably wasn't anything that these guys could have done.
Yeah, this is going to be, you know, not a free Helmasaur fight. 2 hits away from KO for Gerdo.
Yeah, typically in an MG fight, you have something like 6 to 7 hearts here. So slightly under health.
Takes
Oh
one
man,
hit.
Alright.
Yeah, there it is.
Helmasaur certainly in NMG is a very popular run killer. Oh wow, picking up the silvers from Helma. What again would have been nicer to have before Helmasaur, but Gerdo takes him down no problem. Also very convenient that that they end up getting the silvers right before Armos.
And before Vitreous, which is also very nice.
Yes. Alright, Gerdo is going to do Eastern Palace here with the boots. This should be even faster. Even though you don't have the boots in the vanilla game for Eastern Palace, this is actually one of the dungeons that really benefits from having boots. You see a lot of long hallways here.
Yeah, a lot of the early dungeons have long, straight corridors. Desert's probably like a prime example of that.
Yeah, that's I think that might have been by game design, because in the vanilla game, right, you get the green pendant, which then you turn into Hospira and you end up getting the boots. And so it's probably Desert as your next logical destination. Probably just wants to really be able to show off like what the capability of boots are. And always this Eastern Palace here is it's nice in that Gerdo and Aries going to pull out the big key from this first chest, which means they don't have to also go around to the vanilla big key chest and spend some extra time.
Yeah, this is a super convenient pairing of dungeons here. They'll also get to do Mire and Desert together, which you don't always get to do, but it's nice when you can.
Almost down for Gerdo. Crystal number 3. Yeah, so it looks like at this point, the runners can just do whatever dungeons they want at their discretion. So at some point, these guys have to do Skull Woods, and then they're going to do the Mire and Desert combo, and then they can make their way up the mountain and do Hera and then GT. Looks like Gerdo is choosing to do Skull Woods first.
So this will give us a good sense of what the lead might be, because this will bring them on parity for dungeons done. So Aries out at like 31:58.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Gerdo just have the backup Skull Woods to finish. This certainly won't take that much time, but Ari did have a very good run here. So, Gerdo is indeed fast. I'm not sure how much time he's going to be able to pick up on Ari in general here, though. Gerdo certainly putting good use with that Fire Rod and Half Magic. Who needs to knock the Gyptos into the spike when you can just burn him?
There, another good Mothula fight. I think that was a hair slower than Eriror's, but you know, not much of a difference.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, like just given the caliber of these runners, it's really sometimes hard to tell how good these guys are, because you're just comparing like top tier against top tier, and so it's, I mean, their execution is just so well done. And so maybe it looks like Gerdo is about 30-ish seconds, I think, behind Ari, going into Mire.
Yeah, medium level Mire in terms of big key placement.
That was one annoying firebar chase. I think he was just close enough so that Ari didn't have enough time to dash, so he had to walk all the way up. Yeah, one nice thing about both runners picking up the lamp in pod means that they don't have to do Mire Dark Basement.
Yeah, which in turn means they can, practically speaking, do Spooky. It's not something most runners can do in the dark.
I think in a previous matchup with Eri versus Zelda earlier, Zelda was able to pull off Spooky in the dark. Certainly was very impressive to see. Certainly very clean fight here with silver arrows for Vitreous. And having a silver arrows also for Lambo is also really convenient as well. I mean, they did have the fire rod, so it certainly could also be a quick kill, but 3 silver arrows is certainly going to be faster than temper sword or fire rod shots.
Yeah, though they may already be thinking ahead to where they can pick up arrows. You're at 4 shots right now.
That is an excellent point for resource management. It does look like Desert its boot slot. So even if runners probably didn't want to pull boots out of Spike Cave, which certainly has been quite the time saver in this scene in general, it looks like it's required nonetheless.
And with this layout, those 5 from that pot are very convenient for Eriror to grab.
Yeah, it's certainly good use of game knowledge to know that arrows are there in the in Desert for those pots. I think NMG also has you potentially picking up those arrows as well. So, you know, given that Gerdo and Eri are both very well skilled in NMG, they probably already knew, and probably either they might have just been planning ahead. Our Eri is now at 14 arrows, so assuming they don't need anything in Hera, they will have 4 arrows necessary for Upstairs Mimic, and then also 4 necessary for Ganon. So any extra is theirs to spare in the gauntlet.
And just not leaving any room for Gerdo to really make up time through these dungeons.
A real testament to Eri's execution skill here. But also, I mean, really, Gerdo has done an amazing amount of execution here as well. I mean, just keeping toe-to-toe to Eri is just a real testament to also Gerdo's execution abilities as well.
Just this last mountain climb, quick Tower of Hera. I'm guessing we'll see a Hera pot. If the execution on that's not great, that could be a place Gerdo could make up some time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, just watching these two guys, where Gerdo ended up losing some time on Eri.
Yeah, I mean, they both have had kind of one big, overworld death slip up, but if anything, Eriror's was a little worse. So I think it's just little seconds here and there. They had some minor differences in routing, but I don't think any of those led to this time difference.
Yeah, it certainly could have been just, as you said, maybe nothing. There wasn't anything super major, but there could have been just lots of little things here and there that maybe add, that was like 1 second here, maybe 2 seconds there, and those do add up over the course of the run.
We've got some people in chat kind of timing it, and each of these dungeons, Eriror's gained about 3 seconds. I have no idea where those 3 seconds are for the most part, because I'm not good enough at this game to tell.
Eri pulling off a very nice hero pot there. Yeah, I think also at the very beginning, g3rd0 ended up doing Houlihan. I'm not sure if that was completely necessary in the run, but it probably also was like a very minor time loss.
That is fair. They've certainly both got a lot of money they're not really using now as Eriror gets ready to head into GT. If you want to guess where it is by location, you got about, 10-15 seconds while this cutscene plays out to do it and win yourself the satisfaction of being right.
Eri entering GT right at 41:19. I mean, even though that these runners didn't have to probably touch Turtle Rock or Ice Palace, no, they ended up touching Ice Palace or Thieves Town for pendant dungeons. I mean, to be here at GT this early is certainly very impressive.
It looks like probably a Compass side play, although could be a vanilla room as well. I've been told that for good runners, this side is a little faster for getting to the vanilla key location.
Yeah, these runners probably qualify as good runners here.
Yeah. But no, it's right there. I was about to say, pulls out the mirror. Is going to have to get a small piece somewhere.
Yeah. Certainly good on Eri for remembering that he needs a key. I mean, there certainly could still be a key up here, but that to grab the key right there is certainly very fast. g3rd0 ended up finishing Tower of Hera while we were watching Eri pick up his big key to GT. We'll also most likely do the same. Eri is making his way up the gauntlet.
Yeah, and this is, Eriror's going to have to make a mistake for g3rd0 to come back at this point. It is a pretty wide gap. So g3rd0 does need to stay on point just in case that opening does happen. But will just need some kind of problem to befall Eriror.
We certainly do not wish any harm on either of our runners, for full disclosure. But you are certainly correct in that even though this lead is a bit wider probably than g3rd0 would like, if you are in general facing Eri and you are behind him when he enters the gauntlet, you definitely have an uphill battle to climb regardless of who you are.
Saves the one cycle there, missed one of the fire rod shots, but manages to get another on point.
Eri is just tearing up the gauntlet here. Not unlike most of his other NMG runs. Yeah, with half magic here, they can certainly use the fire rod probably more sparingly, or more liberally.
And remembers to grab the small key.
Eri not taking any chances hitting those switches. Certainly do not blame him whatsoever.
A little bit of a slower Moldorm 2 than I think he might have wanted, but does get it. Doesn't get knocked off for any other disasters.
We are ready to fight Agatu.
Yeah. Not a terrible first pattern for
Yeah,
once.
actually, look, wow, is that a triple?
Almost got the double, triple. Just needs one more hit here. Gets the 3, 2, 1 countdown. This should be a pretty good Ganon fight. Does need to not like take a hug or anything. Still on 4 hearts, but has tempered, has silvers.
Yeah, and he also does have the King of Burna as a safety.
Yeah, but the lag.
Oh no, g3rd0! Oh no! Oh no! I think g3rd0 forgot he needed a small key.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt a little. Oh, and Eriror does take a death here.
g3rd0 has a chance.
Small key
I'm not wishing anything poorly on you, Eri. Don't worry.
I mean, Eri's still got a massive lead, though. We'll need a couple more of those. We do see the King of Burna. And we do see the math go very, very slowly. But into phase 3. Phase 2 is generally considered the dangerous phase for Ganon.
Alright, g3rd0 is on Agatu. Looks like he got his triple. Having the same pattern or same result here as Eri, 3, 2, 1.
And Ganon's one true weakness. Oh, nice setup for a triple here. Yeah, there it is.
I'm gonna get your GG's out in chat for Eri here, finishing with an official SRL time of 1:04:15. That includes the 15-minute spoiler log study period. A sub 50 run here by Eri. Very, very impressive.
2 nuts.
Hi, Eri. GG's.
And Gerdo just about done with Ganon here. One more hit in phase 3 left. If Ganon will stand still. I actually forgot we were getting different patterns. I was like, I don't remember these being this bad for Eriror.
I had
Yeah,
so
maybe your dad. Yeah, maybe your dad was that a gambit, Ari, to try and get better patterns out of Ganon.
Yeah, totally. That was the intention. Didn't really work out. The RG wasn't with me, but never know.
And your DG's out for Gerdo, finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 48 seconds. Certainly still very, very impressive runs from both these runners. GG's Gerdo.
Yo, GG. Oops, okay. Yo, GG's.
Yo, GG Gerdo.
So a fairly straightforward seed in a lot of ways. I am a little curious why you decided to go for the Houlihan routing, Gerdo?
Because there was no easy money available in chests, and I like the option. We could have gotten the triples for bombs. So I had that in mind, and also the port money. Like there were the 300. So to make it easy on that front, I just Houlihan early. I didn't look at like where red rupees were and stuff, if that would be enough. But it worked out for Ari, I guess.
Yeah, I got exacties right in Kakarika, so that was lucky. I spent like the last minute quickly figuring out whether I needed to Houlihan or not.
Yeah, I can totally understand that if you didn't have a chance to look at those. And then I think otherwise y'all's routing were pretty similar. I mean, a little bit of out of order skullwoods and everything, but other than that, it was mostly the same.
Yeah, we both had an unfortunate overall death.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was complete bullshit, by the way. I just want to point that out. I didn't look too closely at yours, but it seems, it happens when you're forced on green mail and low hearts.
Yeah, there were no good safeties on the way, aside from getting Bruna, of course. But I mean, at that point, we didn't have any magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned where the armors were to chat yet. Do either you want to share that, or do you remember?
One wasn't fed, and the other one wasn't Pyramid Fairy, so both were, not really available. There were no real good hearts either. There were just a couple. I skipped the one in Zahans for that because I thought with Woods and Temperate 5 should be fine. And then there was a 6th one in Eastern for me. I picked up like 4 pieces of heart early on for a 5th heart.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me. I got the random hard pieces in Mini Moldon Cave. There were 2, I think.
Yeah.
So going from that, it was easy to get 1 full heart from hard pieces, and I don't want to say comfortable with 6 hearts, but it's usually enough that you can get by without a death if you're playing a little careful.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, I got thrown off, but I knew that the gathering patterns would be different because we didn't have to do ice armors.
Yeah.
So the bats were in a different order, and I didn't really see a good way to dodge them, so I just died. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, I forgot to get the mini Helma key and had to backtrack, so that made up for it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of panicking the entire sequence around mids and what to do after that. I think you could do it in pretty much any order. I wasn't really sure when to get boots. But I'm pretty happy with all.
Yeah. I didn't plan my boots getting in either. I just said as soon as I have magic, I'll go get it, pretty much. Because we needed a magic for Burner to get through there.
Yeah, exactly. Spike Cave is so awkward as Portal Log.
Yeah. If you don't have burner, like luckily we had burner easily available this siege, but if you don't have burner or cape available, can get really awkward to rotate in.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even know how many hearts you need and stuff like that, so...
And the cape was in a position where the logic would have considered it available. I think it was in Thieves Town, if I remember right, but you didn't really want to go there.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Thieves.
Yeah, during the run, Mercer and I were trying to figure out where kind of like the time loss or the time difference ended up coming from between your two runs. And I mean, it looks like there was some consensus that area or early routing was a little bit more efficient than g3rd0's. Actually, g3rd0, I guess I was curious too. And so at some point you went to go get the bow out of Kakariko and then you left, but then like you didn't end up doing Skullwoods either. So did you want the bow, I think, before Swamp?
Like I flew to 5 first, I think, because I completely forgot I still need to get the bow to do that. So I did that. I don't know if going to Skullwoods from the bow. It probably would have been a little faster, so it was a slight misroute. I didn't really need the bow for Swamp, it was just get the bow, be in go mode, and then do the dungeons in pretty much any order. I knew that there was a heart in Eastern Palace, and I kinda wanted to get that before doing Skullwoods, I guess. Because Moth can sometimes get out of control a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Every single one of your boss fights, both from you, Ari, and from you, g3rd0, were just like very like beautiful to watch. And you're just so fast.
Did you manage to get the 0-star call in Argus?
No, I didn't.
It was such fast movements. I thought I had it because it was like busy with its move. I was like, okay, well, I got the kill during like the end of the second move, but then it was actually the third move already. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I saw that on your screen. I just messed up. That wasn't a problem for me. I wouldn't have gotten it on a normal pattern either. So
Yeah, rough. Yeah, bosses were fine. I mean, we had really good equipment. That was
yeah.
like as long as you have tempered and boots, you can do most of the quick kills anyway. And we had silvers for Fiddy. That helps a lot.
Yeah, so with this win, you're up to 5-1. So decent position for making top 8, even if you happen to lose next week, because I know some number of 5 and 2s will make it. So g3rd0 also still alive.
I just need g3rd0 to win
any-
next week. And Kyung. Just if Kyung wins, then it's like my tiebreakers are through the roof, and I'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the math works out. It depends a little on if the 6-0 wins, because then there's a lot fewer 6-1s.
I mean, I think Ari's going to be fine.
Assuming you win next week though, g3rd0. I mean, like your two
Yeah.
bosses are Kyung and Ari. I mean, like your tiebreakers are also like will be crazy.
Not really, because I played Esther and he sadly dropped, and that kind of killed my tiebreaker. Because the other opponents I had earlier in the tournament also weren't doing too hot, I think. So my tiebreaker is actually not looking very good. So I think I'm pretty much out at this point, but I'm still gonna play the last week.
Of course.
But to be fair, my 2 losses were to Kyung and Ari, which I consider the 2 strongest players in this tournament, so
yeah,
I am not too bummed out, you know.
Yeah, pretty rough matchups in the last few weeks. That's a shame.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I admit I'm not totally sure how they're calculating the drop. I think Strength of Schedule drops the lowest. I'd have to look back at the rules.
It drops the highest and the lowest, so for both me and Ari, Kyung is probably the one to get dropped.
Oh, that's a feels bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have a 2-3, a 3-2, and 2 4-1s, I think.
Yeah, that's
So I have pretty good tiebreakers. Just looking for my opponents right now. It's
I mean, the system is not ideal, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to find anything better, because
Yeah, for
doing like
sure.
a big tiebreaker race or something is not really feasible with all the different time zones going on and stuff.
yeah.
So
I mean, they're doing it for a German tournament, but at least there everyone, has the same time zone, so it kind of works out, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy just having a Swiss in general because you can always just play 7 rounds and you'll be able to have some close matches because
Yeah.
of how the system works, and that's what's more important than having a necessarily super accurate top 8, because there is no super good way without dragging out the tournament to ridiculous lengths.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody in the tournament who never had any chance at top 8, I enjoy it. It's kind of given me some good matchups in the last few weeks with other players of similar quality, although I've randomly gotten in-band this past week. So I like the system, but I'm not sure. I think the top players will make it, but like the range from 5 to 20 is really, really tight in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. So there's definitely going to be some feels bats with people who don't make the top 8, but I mean, as long as you've had seven okay rounds and had fun, it should be okay.
And Sinak, the tournament admin, speculating in chat that next year we might just do a record-based cutoff and not do top 8, but fill out a bracket based on how many people advance with the 5-2 or better.
Yeah, it's not a bad system either.
But any other thoughts on the tournament so far, or this seed from either of you?
It was a fun seed. Boots weren't super late. It was interesting to see how to sequence some things, and nice go mode at the end. So not unhappy. Pretty happy with how I played overall, aside from the 2 devs. So yeah, no complaints from me. Thanks, g3rd0, for another good race.
Yeah, same. GG. And yeah, regarding the seed, in all my races I had boots available like at mid game at the latest, which is very enjoyable always. So I also Turtle Rock has been a pendant, I think, in every single one of my races, which is also crazy. Just some notes from me there.
That
But
seems
yeah.
like a high...
Yeah. Nothing else to say about the seed, really.
Yeah, so those of you watching, if you enjoyed this race, and you certainly should have, I hope, give both g3rd0 and Eriror a follow. Additionally, shout-outs to my co-commentator today, Clearmouse, and our tracker, Oddwalls, for pushing the buttons and keeping us in line. There are a number more. There's 3 more matches on the schedule today. Not sure if the evening ones will get a restream or not yet, but at 1:15 p.m. Eastern, we have Hydropower versus Salty Fry, both 3 and 2. That should be a really good one. That's going to be on SpeedGaming, and the aforementioned Sinak appears to be on comms for that one, so that'll be fun. But keep an eye on SpeedGaming 2 through 6 for the remaining week 6 matchups, as well as our last week where we figure out who's going to get into that top 8. Clearmouse, you want to close us out with any last words?
Yeah, sure. GG's to Eri and g3rd0. Thank you so much for putting on such a wonderful race. In fact, when I first saw this matchup, I was both very excited and somewhat disappointed, because I knew it was going to be a really good match, and you guys certainly does not disappoint whatsoever. But I knew that one of you was going to have to lose, so they didn't want to see that. However, GG's again to both of you guys. You guys put on an excellent show, both in terms of execution and routing. So thank you so much for the great times. And Mercer, thank you for the co-com. Everyone, will see you hopefully very soon for the next matchup in this tournament.
Thanks for the comms.
Yep,
Yeah.
same.
Have a good day, guys.